What's going on, guys? Today we got a 2019 Hyundai Sonata. This got the 2.4 liter GDI, and it's a common occurrence with these. Once they get more mileage on them and they get older, they start consuming quite a bit of oil on them. This one, the worst, it was probably within a week, less than 400 miles, it consumed 3 quarts of oil. And these ones, I'm not sure if that shows. These ones take a 520 oil. So, if anybody's familiar with Identifix or Mitchell's, you can look up technician service bulletins. So with this, I looked it up. They get a service bulletin. There's the number right there, if anybody's curious about it. But essentially, they're just going to go through, check how much oil it is consuming. And if they verify that it is consuming, there's a chart they go down. So they're going to do an oil consumption test. They're going to do a combustion chamber cleaning. Do the test again. If it's still consuming a bunch of oil after you perform the cleaning, they're going to put it in for a warranty if you're within the mileage in the year, and replace the engine. So what happens on these with the GDIs, they accumulate quite a bit of carbon. And what that does is the rings on the pistons themselves start getting stuck, and it allows oil to go past the seals of the piston, and it gets burnt off in the combustion chamber. So what we're going to try to do today, following this bulletin over here, because if you print it out, that just shows you how to do the oil consumption test. This right here, they put intake cleaner directly in to the spark plug holes, and that sits on top of the piston. I'm not sure if they show. Yeah, they got different testing equipment for them. But I don't have all the fancy equipment at home like Hyundai does at the dealership. So what I'm going to do today is take out our spark plugs. I just recently, well today, picked up a borescope. You can pick this right up at AutoZone. It was $118. Picked it up, already turned it on, checked everything. The quality of the picture is not too bad at all. So take the spark plugs out, check it with that, see how much carbon buildup we have. And quite a while ago we had a problem with knock sensor code. So if you're not familiar with the knock sensors on these, well, the wiring comes out the side. I think it runs on this side, but it sits below your intake manifold. So you got to take the intake manifold off to access your knock sensor if you're going to replace it. I ended up replacing it. None of the codes ever came back. Now, a couple thousand miles later, now it's doing the oil consumption. So, while I had the intake manifold off, in here, you can see all your valves. there was a bunch of carbon buildup a couple thousand miles ago. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't look into any of this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and take the intake manifold back off. And that's what I had these brushes for over here. Luckily they had these on a deal at my local runnings. I'm going to end up using these brass brushes. They got the little eyelets that you could hold on to. I'm honestly just going to clip them off. And I'll put that directly into a drill. That way I could put cleaner on the valves, put that brush in my drill, and just try to eat up all that carbon buildup. So hopefully that'll help with sealing in the combustion chamber. That'll avoid any leakage of the oil if it is making it through there. And at the same time, it'll help fuel economy and all that fun stuff. It's mostly for emissions stuff, to say it nicely. I'll end up using this on the valves. I couldn't find anything else. Picked this up at AutoZone. It seemed like the best bet for what they had in stock. For top of the pistons, they didn't have any combustion chamber cleaner. This essentially gets thrown through your fuel system, ends up in your combustion chamber anyway. It goes through your injectors and everything. And part of the test, I believe I already mentioned it. Yeah, the intake cleaner, they end up just injecting it directly into the plug holes. I'm just going to put a decent amount of this into each cylinder. I'll let that sit overnight. And I'll get something to suck all of the liquid out tomorrow. And I'll pull out any of the carbon that's remaining. I'll leave the spark plugs out. And I'll crank the engine over so it'll spray out all the remaining stuff I can't pull out with a vacuum. And I bought 2 of them. I'll throw one of these right in the tank too, so it'll clean out the injectors and all that fun stuff. But for the setup, in one of my previous videos I picked up one of these shop lights. Pretty bright. Got that bungee corded up to the hood. And I recently picked up a mount for the phone, so I don't have to hold it while I'm working on all this. If anybody's interested in one of them, pick one of these up on Amazon. I think it was less than 20 bucks. It's got a little remote too. I'm not going to end up using that. So we'll end up getting started on here. Put it up in this mount. Seems like it'll be okay. Get started by removing this cover off. All that has is a couple rubber grommets on here. It'll pop onto these little balls here. Not too hard to take off. Now, let's see if you can see that. Kind of, sort of. You got your 4 coils here sitting up on top. This here too, we'll have to take that off. Looks like they're going to be 10s. Take the bolts off for the coil packs. Pull them coil packs out. Then we'll have access to our spark plugs. While I'm taking these out, I'm going to inspect the boots. Sometimes these boots, they will get brittle after a while. They'll start cracking. These seem to be in good condition. I'll just put them up on top. I'll put them in order. You don't have to, but I like keeping order of things. I did forget to get an extension for my 3/8, so I will go grab that and I'll be right back. Alright, got my extensions, and I just put the socket in here. It's going to be a 5/8 spark plug socket. Okay, we got all four of our spark plugs loosened up. I just gotta go get a magnet because it seems like the rubber on my socket's worn out. It's not picking them up. So I'm gonna grab a magnet. I'll come right back and I'll pull out all the spark plugs. Okay, with the magnet, gotta pull all these out. Let's see. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's burning up some crap. See the tips all white right there. I don't think that one's all the way out yet. Yep, that one's doing the same thing. Same thing on that one. That one's pretty wet. You can see all the oil on the threads there. Yeah, so it's definitely coming through in the combustion chamber. It's burning up a lot of oil. So we'll pull out that camera. We'll take a peek inside of each spark plug hole. See how nasty it is in there. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this car, if you end up following that bulletin, there's a warranty on these engines and the cleaning and all of that. That warranty is 10 years or 100,000 miles. This one started acting up literally as soon as it passed 100,000 miles. So that's why I'm doing it here. I'm not bringing it to a dealership for all that. It's just going to be out of pocket cost. So, I already had this out. I was looking at it. It's going to come separately. The camera's going to be disconnected. There's a little notch right there. And it's going to follow up with a notch that's in the end of the camera itself. Power buttons on the side here. And you can kind of see it picks up pretty good. So I'll put that in the spark plug hole. We'll see what we can come up with. So, looking inside of these, come on. You can see that the inside is all wet. Usually it's not wet in there. It's generally supposed to be dry. You can see the oil's coming up. That cylinder's wet too. Let's see if I can get this better. Same thing with that one. So oil's definitely coming up past those rings. Come on. Yeah, you can see that one's pretty nasty in there too. So we'll have to put some of that cleaner in these holes. We'll see if it can't free up them rings, make it seal a little bit better. The only downside about this camera is it doesn't twist very well. I would like to get one of them twisting ones so I could see the sidewalls. See if there's any damage or scoring on the sidewalls. But we'll try this for now and see if we can remedy this up for a little bit. Alright, so this is by no means going to be an exact measurement like they wanted in the bulletin over there. I just got a dried out water bottle, left this open for a few days, made sure there's no water in it. I'm just going to go to this bottom line here and I'll put that amount in each one of the cylinders. I'll take the camera in there, make sure I got a decent coverage in there. And what I'll end up doing after that is I'll let that sit overnight. And tomorrow I'll go through and I'll try to get all the leftover liquid out. But I'm going to end up using Techron's Complete Fuel System Cleaner. If you could find a combustion chamber cleaner, it's going to be better off. But like I was saying earlier, this ends up in the combustion chamber anyway, and it's got good reviews. There's plenty of videos out there. Project Farm, he did a great video looking at this stuff, and it just cleans up all the carbon buildup inside of the engines and the fuel system. This is going to be the Concentrate Plus, so it's going to be different from the other kinds they have out there. So I'll fill it up to about here, and I'll do that for each of the cylinders here. So you can kind of see it's up to that first level on the bottom. Okay, that's all four. I'll grab the inspection camera or the bar scope, and I'll just check them out and see if I got good coverage on top of them pistons. So, yeah, that's going to be plenty. Yep, so I just checked these two, the first two over here. That's got good coverage on the tops of the pistons, so I'm going to let them sit overnight. Now I'll check it again with this in the morning, and if I see that all the fluid is gone, I'm going to end up having to change the oil, because that means all that sank down, and that's all going to be in the oil. I'd rather not just run down watered down oil, even though it is burning everything. I'm just going to be safe, try to save this engine. Alright, so we got these all filled up with that Techron fuel cleaner. Still want to clean out the valves. Hopefully that'll help whatever's going on inside of this engine. So in order to do that, we're going to have some nuts and bolts holding on this intake manifold. We're going to have a bunch of connectors and some tubes we're going to have to take off. We got some here, our connectors, more wiring harness connectors down here. We got some hiding down here. We got some tubes connected for vacuum. This here is going to be the PCV valve. I'm also going to be replacing this. And then we got our throttle body hiding down here. We're going to have to take off this here, get that out of the way so we can get to our throttle body. So I'll start taking this apart. I'm not going to show you step by step how to take this apart. There's probably plenty of videos. I'll just get onto this, taking that apart, and I'll show you what the valves look like when I get there. Okay, one thing I'm going to note while I'm doing this is our throttle body down here. I should say I took out the intake tube here and the other one here that goes to the throttle body. It's going to have 4 bolts to the top and 2 at the bottom. You're going to have to take out. And can you sneak in there? You're going to have 2 tubes that go to the throttle body as well. You're going to have to take that off, get your throttle body off. Depending on how dirty that is, I might end up cleaning that out too while I'm in here. Looking at it from right here, it doesn't look too bad, but I'll take that off and I'll check. But as of right now, got our wiring all disconnected, all of our plugs down here disconnected, starting to get everything nice and open. I'm going to finish taking that throttle body off, take out our bolts and nuts that are on the back of the intake manifold, and we should be ready to pull that right off. Alright, we got the throttle body off. That was the side you guys had just seen. These 2 right here are going to be coolant hoses, so you are going to lose a little bit of coolant. You shouldn't lose a whole lot. Looking at the inside, it's definitely not bad. I'll still end up cleaning that off while I'm right here. But when I just did the one on my Tundra a couple weeks ago, the whole inside of this is black. So this is pretty good. And don't forget, on your face right here, there's going to be a gasket. So make sure when you put this back together, you're going to have your gasket here and clean up the surface nice. You don't want to have chunks of rubber or debris stuck to it like that is. Okay, now I'm going to go on, take them bolts off, and I'll start recording once I'm ready to pull that manifold off. Okay, we got all of our bolts and our nuts off. Now I just got to go in with a magnet. These are going to come in handy for this job. And start pulling all them out. Now if I got all of our bolts off, all of our connectors off, this should come off now. Nope, I believe there's something connected on the bottom side, so I'm going to have to look into that, and I'll let you know. Well, I completely forgot when I was doing this job last that right underneath on the bottom, on the back side, there's a bracket. See if I can't move this camera around. That connects to the bottom of the intake manifold. So after at least 2 of those bolts come off, then we should be good to go. My bad, I already forgot. Okay, 2 12mm bolts are on that bracket. Now I should be good. Some wire connectors stuck on the manifold bracket we were just showing. Okay, 2 more things. These plugs right here are gonna have to come off, along with the wire harness that runs to that bracket on the bottom. Try that again. There we go. Yeah, perfect example of carbon buildup. Can see that on all these. Lots of stuff just getting built up on here. Yeah, you can't really see much in there. There's a little bit on that side. But quite a bit where them valves are. That just has a little actuator that opens and closes that for air ratio. Okay, let's put this out of the way. Take you guys off this. And there's our valves. Come on. Yeah, you can see all the buildup on the valves. It's not exactly what you want. Can I get this any closer? Nice and pretty and caked up. You can see a lot on that one. See how wet it is in there. Not at all what you want to see. You can see that one's, if it would, there we go. You can see that set's opened up right now. So honestly, what I'm going to do now is take that valve cleaner I was showing you guys. I'm just going to blast all that down. Let that sit overnight. Let that eat up all that nasty crud. And then tomorrow, I'll make another video, I suppose. And I'll show you how I'm going to clean all them up with them wire brushes. And if you're wondering, that's everything how it looks with the manifold off. So I'll get that sprayed down, let that soak overnight. Same thing with all of the fuel cleaner we put inside of the pistons there. Well, on the pistons. We'll come back, we'll clean it up tomorrow.